Okay, so we're here tonight to talk about the health savings account. It's open enrollment season. I know many of you are making a choice and making a decision now. Life insurance, healthcare, things of that nature. So these are two very important topics. But tonight we're going to be solely focusing on this health savings account. This is an account where oftentimes you've seen it and did not understand it and just didn't pick it. But I'm gonna show you tonight. This is very beneficial, probably one of the most powerful investment accounts that's created, and it's three triple tax advantages come with it. So we're gonna dive in right into it tonight and share this powerful information with you. So the next time that this comes up, or even in your open enrollment season now, excuse me, you'll be educated enough to make a decision on this here and see what's best for you and your family in itself. All right. So this is tonight. You see HSA, that stands for Health Savings Account. Now you may be getting this kind of mixed up with a flexible spending account, which is a FSA. So we're going to kind of cover that in detail a little bit, but the main topic tonight will be, excuse me, the HSA. Okay. So this health savings account, all right. When I mention this here, right, the triple tax advantage. But the first thing is, right, in order to be eligible for a health savings account, all right, you must be connected to a high deductible healthcare plan within your job. So when you go and you look at the different options, if you're part of a high deductible health plan, you are eligible for a health savings account. And if you are eligible, here's the triple tax advantages. Your contributions, the money that you put inside of this HSA, this is going to work towards your tax deductible. So it's going to lower your taxable income. All right. And then we're going to go in between we're going to talk about the different maximum amounts that you can contribute. Now, this is a little bit older slide. This is this year's, but I'm going to show you 2022's. All right. So all your contributions are tax deductible. We go right here, we look at the investment growth. So when you have money in a health savings account, you're putting money into this for your health care. And then you also too have an option in your HSA for this money to be invested as well. All right. So I'm gonna share with you guys tonight my HSA account with my job. I'm gonna show you the the cash account and the investment account that's tied to it. All right. And then the third benefit to this is the withdrawals. So you have to use this for any qualified medical expense. All right. So you don't pay any taxes on this as long as it's for a qualified medical expense. All right. Now, once you reach the age of 65, you don't have to use this HSA any longer for any medical expenses. Then it becomes like an IRA and a retirement account that you can withdraw from. So this example here says if you have a family plan and invest $72 a year, because this is the maximum amount that you could contribute as of 2021. All right, for the next 40 years. And if you didn't use any of this money inside this HSA for your healthcare expenses, this now becomes $2 million that you would have built up. Whereas you would have contributed $295,000 in contributions here, right? But because this money now can be invested and grown over time, this 295,000 in this hypothetical scenario could be or would be $1.7 million in investment gain. So imagine you have your 401k account, imagine you have your Roth IRA account, but having an investment account towards your healthcare where money is working for you while you're saving money and towards your healthcare, it could be working for as investment gains for you as well. So this money is working because if you're in a regular PPO plan now and you're paying towards your healthcare, at the end of the year, that money does not roll over. And also, too, you can't invest the money. So with HSA, whatever you don't use, it rolls over into the next year and into the next year and into the next year. So that's why this is a very powerful, powerful tool here. Before we move any forward, I want to see here if we have any questions before we move forward on this triple tax benefit with the HSA. All right. We're going to also give
Yeah,
out.
sure. I got a question,
Yeah, go
sir.
ahead, Vic.
Yeah, so so for example, you said like the current one I'm using with the government at the end of the year, I lose that money. But with this one
But
here,
you don't necessarily lose it. It's just you don't pay into it. That's what you paid for the year, and that's it. You re up the following year.
Okay, so my question for you is, let's say for example, I enroll in this HSA and I go to the doctor. Do I have to use that money that's invested in there, or do they send me a bill? That's what I'm confused about. How does that work?
Okay, that's a very, very good question here, right? So let me just go ahead right in here to it because I want to go ahead and just show you guys how this works. Um, so as you guys know in this Let's Win financial community, we get very, very transparent with you. So I'm gonna log in here to my HSA and I'm gonna show you how this works here. Let me just log in here really quick. And so what's gonna happen is, Vic, you're going to see when I log into my account, you're going to see that there's a cash account, and then there's a segment in here where there's an investment account as well. And so you would, if you have to go to the doctor, right? So here in the federal government, what happens is they give you this debit card, just like you have for your FSA card, but the HSA, they give you a debit card as well. And on that debit card, however much money you have in your cash account, that's how much you can use towards your prescriptions and your copays and things of that nature. All right. So let me go right here. Let me share my screen here. All right. So I've had this account here. I just started this year. All right. I've been trying to have Leslie continue to do this, but she finally agreed to it. And so Vic, as you will see here, right? So this right here is my HSA account. My healthcare provider is United Healthcare, but my HSA to United Care, my bank is Optum Bank. All right. So let's break this down here. My cash balance here is $2,000. All right. My investments inside of my healthcare is $2,852.84. All right.
Mhm.
So the federal government, I'm employed by the federal government. Your jobs have different ways of minimums and maximums for its cash balance. But my cash balance is $2,000 right now, Vic. So I got my HSA card, and I have $2,000 now for copays. If I want to go to Walgreens now, buy some prescription, this is my balance here. All right. Now, any additional money, go ahead, Vic.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. But my question is, if let's say I don't want to touch that money, I have alternate insurances, because I'm retired military. But let's say, for example, I go to the doctor and I had a procedure, and I don't use this. The insurance still covers that, right?
Well, if you have other additional coverages, I mean insurances, right? They may cover that. But let me explain this
No,
here
no,
too.
no, 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 no. I think I confused you. No, no, no. Let's say
Let me
for I
let me
have a
let me explain. I know where you're going.
okay.
This right here, this HSA, right, is all within your regular preventive maintenance. So if you go get a regular checkup, if everything is within your plan as far as what you pick, as far as your regular preventive maintenance, you use this cash balance. But for some god odd reason, you break your ankle, you have to have surgery. You have to go like something outside of your regular preventive maintenance. Then that's when you have to go and use your deductible. Like if you get in a car accident, you got your deductible, then you got to use your deductible. And my deductible is $3,000. All right.
Okay.
So let me explain this in this scenario. I got $2,000 in my cash balance, but if my deductible is $3,000, then I got to go right here and I got to sell some of my investments inside of my mutual fund here to put into my cash balance in order for my insurance to take care of my expenses outside of my regular preventive maintenance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Now, Vic, the reason why, excuse me, the reason why I load up here my mutual funds, right, my investments, because this right here is making money for me. So here's all the different investments that the federal government or I'm able to invest my HSA in. So right here, I'm invested in the Vanguard S&P 500 index fund. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this right here, S&P 500 was up. I'm making money right here in my mutual fund. All right. So money goes in here. All right. Now, the maximum amount that you could put in here for the year 2022 is me. I'm a family man, so I'm single plus family is $7,200. All right. Now what happens is every time I get paid $335 out my paycheck, you'll see right here. This is DFAS Cleveland Indian here, right?
Mm-hmm.
$335 come out my paycheck and go
And
into
go into
HSA. All right. So you see here, contribution limit for 2021, the total is $7,200. I also want you guys to too, when you're looking at your HSA, is my job, they also give me $1,500 per year. So they put $125 a month in this particular account as well. So I'm contributing $7,200 and my job is contributing $1,500. All right. So Vic, here's how this works on a grand scale. And here's why it's important. So if I take right here, I'm age 39. If I got $4,800 in this account at the moment, right? And if I go right here, I want to use some more money for the rest of this year, for example. I take my regular now 2022, I could put in 7,300. All right. I'm gonna take my 7,300, what I contribute, plus I'm gonna take the $1,500 what my job gives me. All right. That's a total of $8,800. So I'm gonna take this $8,800 right here, and I'm gonna take this all the way until I'm 65, because I could use this money right here until 65. All right.
Mhm.
Once I'm 65 right here, right? If I don't use any of this money right here, right? This is now $1.5 million. All
Beautiful
right.
thing.
$1.5 million. And the greatest thing about this is, Vic, is this $7,300 that I put in here, right? That's lowering my taxable income.
Mhm.
All right. And so that's why when we go back over here and we look at this triple tax advantage, we got some new people just joined in this HSA. Triple tax advantage. My contributions I'm putting in, my $7,300, lower my taxable income. We saw these investments that in the S&P 500, that's growing tax free. All right. And I can withdraw this as long as it's used for a qualified medical expense. All right. Now, let me just share this here with you, right? HSA is just simply just a tax-free investment account. All right. And so you use your pre-tax dollars, right? And you use this money to invest it and for it to grow tax-free, and then spend the money on qualified healthcare expenses without paying taxes on it. So what does that look like? Things like drug prescriptions, doctor visits. Man, you could use it for massages, anything that's qualified, anything that you're using right about now for your flexible spending account. And the biggest difference between your flexible spending account and your health savings account is your flexible spending account, you can't invest it. And at the end of the year, whatever you don't use, you lose it. Now, there's one exception to that. For this year, you're able to roll over your whole amount in your flexible spending account because of COVID until 2022. But any other year, you will have to use it or you will lose it. They do give you an exception up until April the 15th where you can roll over $500. But with a flexible spending account, you can't invest it. That's probably the biggest thing. And the money in there is only limited. It's $2,750 for 2021. That's going to go up, I think, by $100 in 2022. All right. Okay. So here's the deal. I could do this already with a flexible spending account. So why bother with the HSA? Basically, I was saying right here, FSA, you either use it or you lose it. Meaning if you don't use the money in the account by the end of the year, right, the benefit is gone. Where HSA, it does not. You have this limitation where it continues to roll over year after year after year. So the money you accumulate in the HSA is forever, man. So what happens is if you lose your job or you move to another job, this HSA goes with you. All right. So again, you must be in a high deductible healthcare plan, right? And you're paying for it with healthcare costs. I want to pause right here and see if anyone have any particular questions at this particular junction while we're into it.
Hello, Sherwin. This is Paris. How are you?
Paris, what's going on?
Not much, not much. I have a question about the
Okay.
HSA. Now, when you first started, you said that you have to have a high deductible plan. So if you don't have a high deductible plan, you can't have this HSA.
That is correct. That is
Okay.
correct. Yeah. So So and then but you have a high deductible healthcare plan in the federal government. All right. So they
So
give you different. Huh?
no. So my the high that means the health care well the medical care that I carry has to be a high deductible.
That's correct. So Paris, let me help you out here, right? So any federal government employees, if you're on the line tonight, all right, and if you're not federal government employee, you can always go back to your job portal. But any federal government employees, if you go to opm.gov and you go to healthcare, all right, and then if you go right here, so I'll send you guys this link. But you go to healthcare, and like for instance, if I go right here and I put in my zip code, I'm gonna put in 33325. All right. And I'm gonna go right here, I'm gonna put in federal because I'm a federal government employee and I get paid bi-weekly. All right. So when I get paid bi-weekly, I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna put in search. And it's gonna tell me all the different coverages in my available to me in my particular area. All right. So, what I'm doing, Paris, I'm looking for high deductible healthcare plans, right? So Aetna right here, they don't really offer high deductible, right? Let's see here. They don't really offer here. So I'm looking for high deductible healthcare plan. All right, here we go right here. High deductible healthcare plan. So Aetna in itself right here, they provide it, right? And then also too, what you want to be looking for is you want to be looking at these different subject lines up here, right? You want to be looking at annual deductible. You want to be looking at annual pocket, out of pocket, right? So you want to go and look at your current, I'm sorry, hold on one sec here. You want to be looking at your current plans, right? And see what you're paying now, right? Your primary office visits. Now, another thing, what I like to do is you look right here and you look at the annual deductibles, right? So what it would cost you in the event you have to use your deductible in order for your healthcare to take in place. All right. Hey, Vic, I think I'm gonna mute you. I'm hearing just a little bit of sound here. Whenever you're ready, open up, just unmute. All right.
Oh.
All right. Okay. So with the annual deductible here, right, it's basically what you will be paying in the event you have to use this for out of your regular preventive maintenance. So in my particular case, right, I have United Healthcare. So I'm gonna go all the way down here to the bottom here, and I'm just gonna share here my one particular plan that I have here. Let me see here, United Healthcare, where are you? All right, here we go here. So I'm looking for, so I have the United Healthcare high deductible plan. All right, so let me find this here really quick. Here we go right here. All right. So I think we right here, I think we have the, let me see here, which one we have. All right, this is mine right here. All right, this is the plan that I have. All right, the reason why I know that is because my deductible is $3,000. All right, you remember I told you that the United Healthcare, they give me $1,500 per year, right? My medical account, they give me $1,500 a year for signing up. So $3,000, if anything happens outside of my regular preventive maintenance, we will have to pay $3,000. If you got serious medical conditions, this health savings account is not for you, because if you're going to see a doctor a lot outside of your regular preventive maintenance, this ain't for you. If you ain't seeing the doctor a lot, I got 3 boys. I mean, we doing regular maintenance, right? I don't have to use this $3,000. I'm just paying for into my health care. And then it's just, this is only an event you have to use it outside of your preventive maintenance. All right. And then also too, you want to go and look at all the details on this, right? Your particular plan, and see what coverages is inside of it, which is most important. I don't really want to go into detail on the coverages, but I want to give all my federal government employees this particular website. And what you could do here, Paris, you can look at the different plans and you can do a comparison down at the bottom here, right? So you could pick 3 and you can compare all 3 plans here. And that's going to be able to determine, okay, for us, what coverages works out for you. You see what it says here, you select 3, and then you can find out if it's self and family. They have the different little symbols here. So Paris, I want to make sure address your questions here.
Oh, so yeah, I already did it because I just recently had to switch our insurances. So I already did all the compare. I got the website personally for this one. I just Google it. You can just Google it. It's not hard to find out.
Right.
So I compared it, but in policy I had to do because of certain situations, I wouldn't, HSA wouldn't be beneficial for me just because I need a lower deductible. So I don't have a high deductible plan. So yeah, it won't be better, but I do have the flex spending account.
Okay. Hey Vic, go ahead. You got some questions?
So so that, remember that $2,000 you showed me under your account, is
Yeah.
that separate from what you're contributing?
No, that's all my contributions, right? So let me see if I can go back here.
Because I guess my question is, so because like for example, they take out like $80 every pay period because I was single. So like you said, they was taking $300 out for you and your family, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So is that money going towards your mutual side or going to that debit card you were talking about? I'm talking about the debit card.
Good question. This $335, and this is what Vic is referring to for some of the ones that just got on the phone call. So every time I get paid, right, $335 come out. So Vic, this automatically goes into my cash account, right? And then from my cash account, I decide if I want to put it into my investment account. All right. So I will literally go right here and I will go right here, transfer funds, right? So when I do transfer funds, I will determine how much I want to move from my cash account over to my investment account in my HSA. All right.
All right, last question. Okay, so
No, you're good.
So when I start this, whatever the payment, whatever the cost is going to be by monthly, that's where I start. So I will. So it's going to start out with $80, then 160. It's going to build up like that. Like, how do I? Am I asking the right question?
I'm not sure if I'm understanding your question.
Okay, so let's say for example, I do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is that money? That money goes into that cash balance initially,
Correct.
And then I have to move it over to the mutual fund side.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you're going to have all these different investment options here, right? So even if you don't work for the federal government, you know, whatever HSA you choose, right? Your job is going to give you different investment options to invest in, right? I always highly recommend the S&P 500 index fund. This one fund right here up 28% this year. All right. So yeah, this money goes into this cash balance first, and then you have an option to decide how you want to have it invested. All right. That's a good question there, Vic. All right.
And there was a gentleman too, Sherwin, that asked that a question in the chat about retired military. He said he heard that retired military can't do an HSA.
Yeah, retired military, because you have TRICARE, you can't do HSA.
Oh, so I'm screwed.
You retired military?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, but okay.
Hey, Sherwin, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about 100% disabled?
Are you on TRICARE?
No.
If you ain't on TRICARE, so this is the thing. Most retirees, they're already under a healthcare plan. So in their healthcare plan, they're already under TRICARE. So if you're already under TRICARE, you ain't eligible. But if you're 100% disabled and you got a regular PPO now, you can enroll into a HSA.
Thank you.
Rose, go ahead.
Okay, I think I was trying to follow up on the question or the comment that Vic was talking about. So when he does like the money comes out of his check, goes straight to this cash balance, can the cash balance ever be zero? Like if you always move it, or do you have to keep a minimum amount in the cash balance?
That's a very great question, Rose. In the federal government, right? In this particular plan here, you have to have a minimum of $2,000.
Okay.
Right, in a cash balance. And it depends on your job. I've seen some other people, and we've looked at your HSA's accounts outside of the federal government. I got this one sharp client now, man. This guy, man, is sharp. He's a young guy, like 28, killing him. He have to have a minimum of $1,000 in his HSA. I mean, his cash balance, and then anything outside $1,000, he can put into his investment account and get that money invested.
Okay.
Yeah. So for us, it's $2,000 minimum.
Gotcha. And I'm gonna have to just relook at my whole medical condition, because like I said, in the last year or so during COVID, I had tonsils removed, kidney stone surgery. So I'm like, it may not be a good time.
if you
It might have
doing,
been a good time this year. I don't know. We got to see how I rebound.
yeah, if you doing that, if you doing those type stuff like as
Right.
the dollar that much, that this ain't for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. Because essentially, and I'm getting ready to go to a strategy here, right? Essentially, what we do, our goal is we don't even touch this money in this account. Now, this is my goal. This is my goal when I try to do right. But my wife, she got that card. She got an HSA card. When she go to the doctors, right? She gonna use it. All right. So West Broward here. We went here October 22nd. This is for a doctor visit. This probably is for like a little copay, $32.36. If it was me, I would have used my regular debit card and I would have paid for it because this money here, I'm looking for it to grow. All right. Another scenario here, Quest Diagnostics, probably when he got some blood drawn. $10.26 was taken out here. So guys, check this out. All these transactions here is all medical transactions, right? Where we put money into this account each pay period. And this money now is growing tax-free as long as for a qualified medical expense. Now, Vic, I just, on this mutual fund right here, November 4th, I moved $507.05 from my cash balance over to my investments into the mutual fund. All right. So essentially, man, I just went over here and I hit transfer funds. Let me see if this comes up. You hit transfer funds, and all you basically do, man, is ask you here, right? Investments to HSA, right? Or investments to investments. And basically what I do is investments to HSA. So that's just basically moving from my cash to my mutual funds, right? So that's essentially how I just move that money from cash over to the investment option. All right. Okay. All right. Any more questions here on this?
So sure, when I start this, I'm not gonna have any money in there. So
That's correct.
God forbid something happens, I just paying out of pocket.
That's correct. Until you build it up into whatever your deductible is. Now, my deductible is 3,000. If you're single and self, your deductible more than likely is going to be $1,500. So that's the risk to this too, right? So you might be 3 months in as you continue to build this up. In the event you have to use your deductible, you're gonna have to pay out of pocket if you don't have this in your cash balance. Whereas the FSA, they front load this initially at the beginning of the year. But an HSA is a hell of a lot better than FSA. I mean, a hell of a lot better. Simply because this money here is growing tax-free and is being rolled over year after year after year. We did FSA, but we were uneducated initially about the HSA. But man, if I would have known what I know now, I would have done this 5 years ago. Because this is just an account that go to work for you every single day, but it's your healthcare account.
Yeah, Sharon, this is quite amazing. I'll probably be just like you, don't plan on touching it at all. So if something happens, I usually pay out of pocket anyway.
So check this out. So here's how this works, right? Here's a strategy that we like using, right? I was telling you guys that would be very beneficial, right? Is if we go right here, all right. So let me go over here to this next slide here, right? All right. What other eligibility requirements not covered, right? So if you're not enrolled in Medicare, you aren't claimed as a dependent, you must be older than 18. That's blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. Okay. You're convinced HSA is the route for you. How do you maximize it? Tip number one, right? You want to max out the pre-tax, right? And so when we talk about max out, let's go and look at for 2022. All right. If we go right here and we look at 2022, I want to share this here with you really quick. 2022. All right. Here's the different limits for the HSA. All right. So for 2022, HSA contribution limit, employer plus employee, right? If you're self only. So Vic, this would be you, right? It's $3,650. If you have a family, right, it's $7,300 now. 2021, it was $7,200. It went up by $100. Anybody over the age of 55, if you want to do a HSA catch-up contribution, you can do additional $1,000. All right. So these are the contribution limits for the HSA. For the FSA, for going into 2022, all right, the limit previously was $2,750 for 2021, but in the year 2022, you now can do an additional $100 for $2,850 here. All right. So I thought it was important enough to show you the difference between these contribution limits. But again, your flexible spending account, you cannot invest the money in here. And then at the end of the year, if you don't use it, you actually lose it. All right. So, all right, let me go back
Sure.
over here. Go ahead.
On the FSA, I think it's like you can if you don't use all but like 500, I think you can like transfer over 500. It's not much, but you can only go over like
Right.
500. That's the only
Right.
thing.
You have $500 until April the 15th to use that. And if you don't use it by April the 15th, you lose it. All right. So yeah, that's why FSA, it's okay, right? I think it's good, right? Especially if you have a lot of health conditions, right? This will still be a way to still take advantage of $2,850 in lowering your taxable income. Because you don't have to worry about paying the deductible, but you're still able to contribute the pre-tax dollars in here. All right. But if you go with the HSA, now you're being able to take even advantage of even more, the $7,300 in tax deductions here, and for this money here to be growing over time here. So you got to think about it, right? Money going to FSA, you've been doing this for 20, 25 plus years, right? And this money is not growing, right? You're just paying into it. But you putting this money in this HSA, and we go back here and we show you this example here at 39. This is my example here. At 65, I could have $1.5 million. In my FSA, this does not give me $1.5 million. So this is why I'm harping on to you guys. I want to help you guys understand how beneficial this HSA is, because it's powerful, man. It's like, man, and I know there's new information for you guys. So in open enrollment, look at it, look at your plans, look at your coverages, consider this, because this is what you call wealth building. This is a wealth hack. Most people don't understand this, so they don't do it. But this is the reason, this is your why. You building an account that's growing. All right. Now let me go back over here, right? So when we talk about maxing this out, right, just show you the maximum limits, right? Tip number 2, you investing the money. All right. Only 5% of the HSAs invest their money. All right. This means that it's just sitting in a savings account, not growing. You want to invest the money. That's what I'm doing. That's why you see majority of my balance in my particular HSA, right, is in the investments. My cash balance here is $2,000. My mutual fund is $2,852. As I continue, this is within my first year. And this started like in March or April because my HR was screwing it up. But 10 years from now, this could be $50,000 because the money I'm putting in and the investments that is working as well. So this money is working versus being unemployed. All right. So look at this here. Average savings account will give you 0.05%. On a $10,000 in a savings account in 30 years, that's going to give you $10,150, right? Net 150 savings account, right? It is what it is. You guys are familiar with that, right? All right. Tip number 3, while investing in an HSA, withdrawals are tax-free for qualified medical expenses. Just showed you all my different transactions. It's tax-free. All right. However, if you don't need the money for healthcare expenses, now at the age of 65, the HSA is essentially a traditional IRA account. All right. It now becomes just an investment account because you don't have to use this HSA for any medical qualified expenses any longer. Right. Okay. All right. Tip number 4, pay medical expenses today out of pocket. So Vic, here's where you was going. And this is a strategy I'd be trying to tell my wife, don't use the HSA card, right? Because what happens is the money now is growing tax-free, right? So you pay your medical expenses today out of pocket. It allows you, right? It continues to grow in your HSA. And then what happens is you collect those medical expenses at a later date. So you can always go back. Look at this example here. This example I want to show you. In the last 4 years, you spent out of pocket $3,000 a year on medical expenses, right? So 3,000 times 4 is $12,000, all right, that you spent. All those years you maxed out your HSA, allowing the money to grow and compound. Check this out, guys. This is a wealth hack. This year, you decide you want to go on a vacation with the family and splurge a bit. Here's how you go on your vacation tax-free. You make tax-free withdrawals of the money you spent on medical expenses from the previous year. So that $12,000, right? The key is to maintain documentation of your healthcare expenses, receipts that you paid out of pocket, and previous tax returns that you didn't already collect from the HSA. All right. And then what you do is you now able to get that money reimbursed back to you. So that $12,000, you can get that reimbursed back to you based on your receipts. And now you don't use this money over these 4 years. All it's been doing is investing and growing over time. All right. So that's another strategy in this health savings account where you don't even have to use the money, let it grow tax free. And whenever you're ready to use it, some people will wait until they get later, 30 years down the line, 20 years down the line. Hell, and if they want to go buy a house, they maybe don't have. Say, look at this scenario right here. Let me show you this scenario. This will bring it home, and then we're all done right here. All right. Let me paint this scenario. I'm 39 here. I'm maxing out, and the government is matching here, right? 10 years down the road, right here, at 49, right? Let's say, for instance, at 50 year, right? Lessa decides that she wants to have a 50th birthday party for me, right? Now it's $222,000 in this account. All right. So check this out. We've contributed $96,000 in this account between our contributions and the government. All right. So if, say, for instance, we had medical expenses of, say, maybe $15,000, right? Out of pocket expenses between these 11 years. All right. Now, Leslie can decide to say, okay, we saving all our receipts. Now we're going to apply for this reimbursement. And now we could take $15,000 of our out of pocket and we're going to get reimbursed now, right? So now this $15,000 is going to take advantage. It's going to pay for my 50th birthday, while at the same time we contributed $96,000. And look at this here. It's $222,000 now. This is over $100,000 in gains because we didn't touch it, because we allowed for this money to grow. Now, that's just another strategy to this. Guys, this is how people build wealth, right? Through healthcare. This is how you build wealth. Go ahead, Paris.
So I'm just making sure I'm following you. You have this account and it doesn't matter how long you hold your receipts. You can always go back and get the money for, you can just let it build up and then try to, when you decide to go on a vacation or like you were saying, you just get all the money back for it.
Parents, let me tell you something. You don't learn something. You got it. You hit the jack on the head. That's the wealth hack. You got it, Paris. You got it.
Okay. And then I got another question with it. Okay, so say right now, okay, I don't have a high deductible plan, but if I decide to,
Paris, you do have a high deductible plan. You do.
I do. Okay.
Paris, let me explain this here to you.
All right.
If you go to this website here, right? Check this out. I'm gonna go back right here and I'm gonna tell you. What's your zip code?
33570.
33570. All right. I go right here. It's going to give you all the different, you federal employee, you bi-weekly. It's going to give you all the different healthcare providers in your area. All right. In this zip code. It's going to come up now searching, right? I guarantee you, United Healthcare is part of.
I have mail handlers. You just passed it. The MH.
But they probably don't have a high deductible healthcare plan.
Yeah.
It don't matter though. So I had Blue Cross Blue Shield before United Healthcare. All right. But because I'm taking advantage of these strategies that I'm telling you guys about, right? That's why I went and said, okay, look, I'm gonna go with United Healthcare because they have a high deductible healthcare plan. Let me see here. I'm looking for, so Paris, we could do this on a one-on-one, not take up too much time, but we can look at this here and you already done it, so that's fine. At least you'll be educated. So this right here, United Healthcare, right? Let me see here. High deductible healthcare plan. This right here is an option that you can take advantage of. But we'll look at this in another scenario for you on a one-on-one.
Okay. Right? Okay. I can just ask the other question then on a one-on-one. I
Okay.
can ask it on a one-on-one because maybe it'll carry, or I maybe understand when we go over it. I'll maybe understand it more.
But if it's a general question, I want you to answer it so that way
Oh, okay.
everybody be part of it.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is that if I do decide to flip over, like say like this, I'm at retirement age and I'm flipping over to a high deductible plan, will I be able to continue or with this HSA, or does the HSA stop once you retire, or you can just keep it forever?
Well, you keep it forever, right? So this 1.5 right here is now my money. It's an investment account, all right?
Okay.
And if you ever was to leave your job, this HSA, it goes with you, right? So that's the good thing about it. It goes wherever you at. So if your new job has a HSA, you go ahead and roll this right into that particular plan in itself.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Anybody have any more questions on the healthcare health savings account? Nope. Okay. All right, guys. Go ahead, Vic.
No, I didn't say anything, but I want to have a quick one-on-one with you maybe later this week.
Okay.
Just a
That
couple
sounds
things.
good,
How long is the season open?
I know ours started today, but I'm not sure how long is it. Probably 3 weeks.
Okay, perfect. All right.
But guys, let me just tell you, man. If you want to learn how to build wealth and have your money working for you at all angles, your 401k working for you. Now this right here is a whole new strategy where your HSA working for you, your Roth IRA working for you. This is the triple tax advantage right here, right? We've even been talking about crypto. I tell you my two main coins I'm investing in, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Guys, take advantage of these opportunities at hand. If I was to go right here and I show you, because I just want to share this here with you, and this will be the last thing here, right? I go right over here to investing.com. The two largest cryptos right about now hit all-time highs today, right? And they're going to continue to evolve. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna hit all cryptos, right? Every single Monday, I have money automatically going into the largest two coins. I don't give a crap about all these other little coins that people are investing in. I'm investing in the largest two, Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right. When you go and look over the last week, Bitcoin is up 10%. When you look at Ethereum is up almost 11%. All right. So you got crypto working for you. All right. You got your equity in your house working for you. You got your kids' accounts working for you. These are all employees, part of your whole overall enterprise. All right. So you always want to have your dollars working for you. Like that crypto I just showed you, that thing worked 24/7, 24/7. So your money should always be working for you because, guys, that's how you build wealth. But if you go to your job and have to trade time for it, your money gonna depend on the amount of time that you put into it. All right. All right. Any other questions here before we close out? So Wednesday, guys, we're going to be back for Wealth Wednesday, and I want to be sharing here with you guys. We're going to be talking about metaverse. All right. Metaverse is evolving, guys. We're going to be talking about these 6 different investments for metaverse. We saw where Facebook came out and their name is changing to Meta. But I want to go deep in detail and talk about metaverse, right? The different companies that you can invest in for metaverse. I just want to share here with you really quick because I posted them here on the Facebook page today. But let me just go right here and just share this here with you really quick. And then we're going to go into heavy detail. Excuse me. We're going to go into heavy detail on these 6 on Wednesday. All right. So these are your top 6 stocks for metaverse. All right. MVRS. This right here is going to be Facebook new stock symbol come December 1st. Microsoft, Roblox. Guys, Roblox after hours today was up 28%. What is metaverse, right? Metaverse is a virtual reality in which users can interact with computer-generated user environment and other users. So Facebook looking beyond just social media platform, right? They're going to be into gaming. That's why you see Unity Software. That's why you see NVIDIA with the chip makers. So guys, this is going to be big for 2022. I want to get you guys smart on this. So we're going to be talking about this here on Wednesday for our Wealth Wednesday, how we can get invested into these particular companies in itself. That way we stay ahead of the game. That's what Let's Win Financial does. Want to keep you guys educated. So we'll be in front of the game, because look for those 6 stocks to be very hot in 2022. All right.
Hey,
So guys,
Cheryl.
that's that. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad, bro. I'll be traveling. Actually, I'm coming to your neck of the woods on Wednesday, Wednesday afternoon. What time is this? Because I might be on a plane.
Oh, it'll be this should be 8 o'clock.
Okay, you gonna record it?
Yep, it'll be recorded. Yep.
I appreciate it.
Yep. So all right, guys. With that, I'm gonna say good night. Be well, be blessed. And as always, guys, let's continue to win. All right, guys. Have a great night.